All right, testing, 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 testing. Shalom. Okay, we have sound. All right. Shalom. I want to start by saying Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakudash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and enough respect to the brothers that are out there pushing and spreading the gospel to the four corners of the world. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, a topic kind of popped into my mind while I was reading Job, the 30th chapter. And so, like the title says, the title says an impressive attribute. And that attribute, it's humbleness. Now, we all know what humble means. We all know that it's very important. But sometimes just telling someone to be humble is kind of, it's broad. The word humble is kind of like, you always have a chance to dive deep into it and be detailed, as much as possible. And when you have a chance, when you always have a scenario to prove why humbleness, it's very important, you take it. Okay. And so there's a very specific scenario that Job, the 33rd chapter, 34, basically, to the 36th verse to 39th verse. It brings out a specific scenario, a specific mindset that the man of the Lord had to be in, and a specific mindset that you're not supposed to be in, because you really displease the Most High, And also, I have certain precept right here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read it to kind of like show that humbleness is a very it's a very impressive attitude. Okay. Now, a specific example of humbleness is in Second Ezra, okay, the 7th chapter. Let's see. Let me see. Matter of fact, the 8th chapter. Okay, the 8th chapter and 48th verse, it says, "In this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, in that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and thou hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among righteousness." And that's what this video is based upon. Okay, you glorifying yourself, and what basically, just already justifying yourself, calling yourself righteous. Okay, so the Most High says, when the Most High said to Ezra that thou art marvelous before the angel said to Ezra that he is marvelous before the Most High. Okay, he impressed the Most High with his humbleness, because it says thou hast not judged thyself to be much glorified among the righteous. Okay, for many miseries shall be done to them that in later time shall dwell in this world, because they have walked in great pride. Okay, hey, I'm telling you, man, pride. When the scripture says pride cometh before destruction, do everything in your power to avoid that. Okay, pride, let it be, it's a heavy sin, man. And like the scripture says, flee from it as if like you flee from a serpent. All right. So it says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in later time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise opened, the tree of life is planted, the time is come to, and the time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready, a city is built, and rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. Okay, so this kingdom that we're gonna get, this paradise, this heaven that we're gonna get, it's open to those that are humble. That's why Yahushua said, blessed are the meek, for yours is the kingdom of heaven. Roughly paraphrasing. Matter of fact, I'm trying to get to that right now. So like, just bear with me for 1 second. Right, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the kingdom of heaven. This is Matthew chapter 5, starting from verse 1. It says, and seeing the multitude, he went up into a mountain, okay, talking about Yahushua. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And, as we read on, all these things are you'll find out that all these things, the Most High kind of like relate those to you when you inherit, these, the humbleness trait, okay? Because when you're humble, you're basically gonna like fall into all these categories, okay? These blessings are all gonna come onto you, okay? It says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for this is the kingdom of heaven. Right. So jump down, rejoice, and be exceeding glad, for great is our reward in heaven. Okay. For so persecuted they the prophets which are before you. All right. So basically putting emphasis on what? The poor, okay, the humble. All right, the person who does not exalt himself. He is the one that gains divine favor. Okay. So continuing. This is right. Job 33rd chapter, starting from verse 1. It says, wherefore Job, okay, now this is continual from the story when Job, when he was being afflicted by the Most High, basically he got caught in the mindset. Okay, so he sort of like for a moment there, he was caught in a wicked mindset. Okay, because when you're in this truth, right, when you're doing the best of your ability to be righteous, don't ever don't ever keep it in your mind that you've I guess you've achieved that goal of righteousness. Always keep that in mind. Okay, no matter how much measures you take for righteousness, always keep in mind, always have the mindset of, I have to do more to keep up, or I have to do more to be actual righteousness. Okay, to be actually righteous. Okay, when you keep that in mind, the Most High likes that. Okay, it is an impressive attitude. It is an impressive attribute to the Most High. Okay, so while Job was, when he lived this life, he was a just man. Okay, the scripture, the Most High bragged about him, himself. Okay, and he was a just man. But when the Most High when the Most High tested him, what happened was, for a time, he started telling people like yo, he started boasting about like, yo, I'm a righteous man. You read the 32nd chapter. You read the 31st chapter, 31. All he does is speaks of his integrity. Okay, both like, I've never done this. He's keeping accounts of the laws. I've never done this. I've never done that. I've never done this. And that's basically what Job was doing. Now, see, when he was speaking of his integrity, like I told you, when you do righteousness, never ever keep it in your mind. Never ever think for a second that you're actually righteous, or never ever believe that you've actually achieved that goal. Okay, and that is something that Job, for a moment there, he kind of slipped up on in his mind. So continuing from verse 33, it says, wherefore Job, this is a man named Elihu, or Elihu, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, forgive me, but he's actually responding to Job, and this is his response to Job. He says, wherefore Job, I pray thee, hear my speeches, and hearken to all my words. Behold, now I have opened my mouth, my tongue has spoken in my mouth. My words shall be the righteousness, my words shall be of the uprightness of my heart. Okay, I'm going to be sincere. I'm seriously telling you this, so you need to listen. That's basically what he said to Job. And my lips shall utter knowledge clearly. All right. Verse 4, it says, the Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty has given me life. If thou canst answer me, okay, set thy words in order before me and stand up. Okay, so basically, what I'm going to tell you, if you have a way, let's just continue. Um, it says, "Behold, I am according to thy wish in God's stead. I also am formed out of clay. Behold, my terror shall make thee afraid, neither shall my hand be heavy upon thee." So he's just basically like getting ready to kind of speak truth. He's getting ready to speak bitter truth. And he's like basically telling Job to get ready for it, like it is. So it says, verse 8, it says, "Surely thou hast spoken in my hearing, and I have heard the voice of thy words, saying, I am clean without transgression. I am innocent, neither is there any iniquity in me." Okay. "Behold, he findeth occasions against me. He counteth me for his enemy." Okay. "He putteth my feet in the stocks. He marketh all my path. Behold, in this thou art not just. I will answer thee that God is greater than man." So he's basically telling Job, like, you gotta chill, man. Like, you boasting of your righteousness. What you're basically telling everybody around you. Every time you talk to people about your condition, you tell people that the Most High is jacking you unjustly. Okay, and he's telling Job that this you have done what? It says, "Behold, in this art thou not just." Okay. Verse 13, it says, "Why hast thou strive against him? For he giveth not account of any of his matters." So basically, the word here is that the Most High does whatever he wants. Okay. Jump down to verse 34. So Job is actually boasting of his righteousness, and the argument that Elihu is making up against him is that when he builds up his argument, he's going to show that the Most High is omnipotent. Okay. The Most High is all knowing. All right. And that his judgment is always true. Like he's never slack of judgment whatsoever. And then verse 3, and then the third part of his argument is that, look, man, the Most High, everything that you have, okay, the Most High basically gave you for free. So if the Most High was to take away your breath and your body, it's crazy. Like, he makes a very good argument. And when I encourage everybody that's listening, in truth and sincerity, to actually read this, because this is very edifying. Okay, this is this is good. So verse 34, verse 1, it says, "Furthermore, Elihu answered and said, Hear my words, O ye wise men, and give ear unto me, ye that have knowledge." Shalom, Fisher, Fisher Turn Hunter, Amos 9:11. Shalom, Akia, how about you? Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Yeah. So verse 2, it says, "Hear my word, O ye men, and give ear unto me, ye that have knowledge. For the ear trieth words, as the mouth tasteth meat." Okay. "Let us choose to us judgments, and let us know among ourselves what is good. For Job has said, I am righteous, and God has taken away my judgments. Should I lie against my right? My wound is incurable without transgression. What man is like Job, who drinketh up scorneth like water, which goeth in the company with the workers of iniquity, and worketh with wicked men? For he says, it profiteth a man nothing, that he should delight himself in God." So basically, Elihu is trying to let him know that, look, man, what you're basically doing right now, when you go out and you boast about how righteous you are and how the Most High is judging you righteously, what you're actually doing is like you're putting a stumbling block. You're actually telling people that there is no profit in a man trying to serve the Lord. There is no profit in a man trying to be righteous. Okay, and for that is a serious sin. Okay, that always make sure that whatever you do, you're not a hindrance to the righteous. All right. And when you say things like that, when you have a heart like that, that's basically the position that you put yourself in. That's what you actually do. That's the wickedness that you perform. So jump down, verse 10. It says, "Therefore hearken unto me, ye men of understanding. Far be it from God that he should do wickedness, and from the Almighty that he should commit iniquity. For the work of a man shall he render unto him, and cause every man to find according to his ways. Surely God will not do wickedly, neither will the Almighty pervert judgment. Okay, who has given him a charge over the earth? So, like I said, the omnipotence of the Most High. Like his first argument, he's going to show us how powerful the Most High is, and how like we should never ever in our life, okay, not even meditate on it, okay, like don't even try to you don't even have to say, don't even think about it, okay, don't even try to think about like trying to criticize the Most High, like, oh, did he do this right now? Not man, like don't ever do that, okay. So his first argument is trying to show us the omnipotence of the Most High. He says, who has given him a charge over the earth, or who has disposed the whole earth, or meaning who has given him, who handed the world to the Most High? Right? And the answer is nobody. If he sets his heart upon men, if he guardeth himself, if he sets his heart upon men, if he gather unto himself his spirit and his breath, all flesh shall perish together, and men shall turn into dust. Okay, the omnipotence of the Most High. If the Most High were to take all the action in the world right now, where would you be? Okay, if thou hast understanding, hear this, and hearken unto the voice of my words. Even he that hateth right govern, and wilt thou condemn him that is most just? All right. Is it fit to say to a king, thou art wicked, and to princes, ye are ungodly? How much less to him that accepteth not the persons of princes, nor regardeth the rich more than the poor, for they all are the work of his hands. Okay, so like again, the omnipotence of the Most High. Nobody would dare walk up to the White House, okay, and try to talk shit to the president. Nobody would do that to the king. Nobody would walk up to the Queen of England and talk shit to her. Nobody does that. But for some reason, when it comes to the Most High, that logic is turned off, and that is it's a mistake. You might as well put a knife to your neck and cut it right now. All right. It's a grave mistake. So it says, thou, is it fit to say to a king, thou art wicked, and to princes ye are ungodly? How much less to him that accepted not the persons of princes, nor regardeth the rich more than the poor, for they all are the work of his hands. In a moment they shall die, and the people shall be troubled at midnight and pass away, and the mighty shall be taken away without hand. Jump down. All right, continue. It says, for his eyes are upon the ways of men, and he sees all his going. So again, the omnipotence of the Most High and the omniscience. Okay, he's all knowing. He's saying that for his eyes are upon the ways of men, and he sees all his goings. There is no darkness, no shadow of death, where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves. For he will not lay upon man more than right, that he should enter into judgment with God. All right. He shall break in pieces mighty men without number, and set others in their stead. Verse 25, therefore he knoweth their work, and he overturneth them in the night, so they are all destroyed. Verse 26, he striketh them as a wicked man in the open sight of others, because they turn back from him and will not consider any of his ways, so that they cause the cry of the poor to come unto him, and he heareth the cry of the afflicted. When he giveth quietness, who can then make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who can then behold him? Whether it be done against a nation, or against him or against a man only. That the hypocrite reign not, lest the people be ensnared. Verse 31. Trying to prove that you must give up pride. It says, surely it is meet to be said unto God, I have borne chastisement, I will not offend anymore. Okay, so now he's actually getting into what Job should actually be thinking. So once he's done showing that the Most High is all knowing, all powerful, and he does whatever he wants, and that the gift of the breath and the flesh was actually a gift, and that none of us actually bought it, and that we're not entitled, okay, to the comfortness of it. Okay, he goes on to show us how we're supposed to think. And then the kind of thinking that we're supposed to be, he says, surely it is meet to say unto God, I have borne chastisement, and I will not offend anymore. Whenever you're in trouble, whenever the Most High jacks you up, whenever the Most High has you in a horrible predicament, always, always, like, understand that you are a sinner, and always know that it is meet, okay, to say that I will not offend anymore. Always ask for forgiveness. That's what you should do. Not try to justify yourself, not try to, acquit yourself, because that's you, not only, are you wrong, now the Most High is going to add more punishment onto what's already been done to you. Okay, so it says, I will not offend. Surely it is meet to say, I will not offend anymore. That which I see not teach thou me. If I have done iniquity, I will not do no more. So even if you're doing righteousness and you still don't really know what you still don't really know what it is you're being jacked up for, pray to the Lord, okay, that if it is His will, He opens your mind and your heart. He opens your memory. Okay, He gives you wisdom and understanding to know where it is you're going off, so that you don't piss Him off anymore. That is a righteous thing to do. That is the humble, okay, that you should be in. Okay. Verse 33, it says, should it be according to thy might, He will recompense it. So if you really believe it, the Most High will recompense it, whether thou refuse or whether thou choose. That was a lot. Let me see. Verse 34 says, let man of understanding tell me, and let the wise man hearken unto me. Job has spoken without knowledge, and his words were without wisdom. My desire is that Job may be tried unto the end, because of his answers for the wicked men. Okay, for he addeth rebellion unto his sin. Beautiful. Okay, when you do all this, you add rebellion unto your sin, and he clappeth his hands among us, and multiply his sins, and multiply his words against God. Okay, so what you do is that you actually hurt yourself. Okay, so again, going back to Second Ezra. This is Second Ezra. Let me go to the 7th chapter. Okay, because I like how the Most High was really impressed by Ezra's disposition. This is Second Ezra, the 7th chapter, verse 49. Verse 49 says, for what profit is it unto us if there be promised an immortal time, whereas we have done works that bringeth death? So when the Ezra was having a conversation with the angel, okay, the topic basically skewed. Okay, later on the topic drove to the kingdom, and when he's hearing all the promises that the Most High has had for Israel, he says to himself that what profit? How are we gonna get these promises if all we do is sin? How, if the Most High, you've promised us immortality, how are we going to get immortality if all we do is sin? The perfect mindset of Ezra, the righteousness, the gift of God. He's so humble that he counts himself unworthy for the mercies of the Most High. Okay, and the Most High loved these words that he spoke. Continuing, it says, and that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves being most wicked are made vain. And whereas there are that there are laid up for us swellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly. And the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a weary life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all. And that there should be showed a paradise whose fruit endureth forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it, for we have walked in unpleasant places. So the Ezra's words is trying to like, he's basically saying, like, the Most, are you serious? We're going to get this? Because to be honest, all we've done is wickedness. Okay. I don't think we deserve, I don't even think there is a way for us to attain immortality because of all we've done, because of the depth, man, the depth of sin that we have to pay, which is death. How are we going to get immortality? Because it seems like now we're going to have to die forever. We're going to have to die over and over again, forever. the humbleness of Ezra. And then jump to verse 8, chapter 8, verse 48. That's when the Most High says, and the Most High responds to him and says, in this thou also, the angel replies and says, in this thou art marvelous before the Most High. You have greatly impressed the Most High, in that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and thou hast not judged thyself worthy to be such glorified among the righteous. Okay, so with that, I hope edification went out, to the brothers and sisters that are watching in truth and sincerity. I want to say shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yashai Barakatha. May the blessing of election be upon your house. May the Most High continues to feed us this word and understand it. Every time that we read it, may we get new understanding and a new heart. And yeah, man, like again, but we have the strength to actually achieve the attributes, okay, that the Most High loves. So with that, I hope edification goes out. Again, shalom, Yahweh Bashim Shai. May the blessing of election be upon your house. All right. So on to the next one. Shalom.